Well, the intense rounds of diplomacy are continuing. The German Chancellor today is in Moscow with Vladimir Putin, no doubt making sure whatever happens, Germany still gets its natural gas, without which its industries would close down. Boris Johnson says there are mixed signals. On the one hand, the Prime Minister says an avenue for diplomacy is open, but on the other, the PM points out there are some very bad signs, including the building in the last few days by the Russians of quite significantly sized field hospitals. Now, the US intelligence networks tell us that the invasion could begin as early as 1 a.m. UK time tomorrow morning. So, is this war inevitable? And I'd like your views on that, please. Farage at gbnews.uk. I still don't think that it is inevitable. I don't think Putin really wants to do this. I think there are two really quite key goals for Vladimir Putin. The first is to sow division in the West, and boy, he's doing that pretty effectively, as the Baltic states and Poland are barely on speaking terms with the Germans at the moment. It's interesting, isn't it, that Scholz, the German Chancellor, will not talk about sanctions in any way at all. Boris Johnson sounding very tough about what would happen with Russian money based here in London, be it in property or be it in bank accounts. And secondly, I think what Putin wants is some sort of concession from the West, some sort of realization that Russia does not like the ever eastward encroachment of the European Union and indeed of NATO. And I was here last night suggesting that if we want to avoid this war, we are going to have to make some compromises, suggesting that if you seek a solution to a crisis, you have to try and put yourself in the mind of the other person on the other side to work out what is it they're thinking, what is it they're wanting. You see, the thought of Ukraine joining NATO is to Putin, is to the Kremlin, a little bit like the Cuban Missile Crisis in reverse. They see this as us encroaching upon them and threatening them. Now, somebody I read in today's Daily Mail who was also suggesting perhaps negotiations, perhaps there could be a deal. And it's interesting because Putin himself has said that he does want to talk not just about Ukraine's role in the future in NATO, but also about the ballistic missile bases in Poland and Romania.